Not at all. You got it.
All right, everyone. We'd like to welcome you to the Motivated Monday call for today. I want to thank you all for coming and sharing your time with us. As always, we enjoy having you here. If you are a Clayton County student, please go ahead and sign in now. The link is live for you to be able to sign in. It looks like all Clayton County right here, isn't it? I think so. We have a pretty good turnout. Well, of Clayton. But today's call, we are going to be talking with some of our current seniors. So it's going to be somewhat of an in-house call today. We have a lot of our seniors on the call today, class of 2023. Let's everyone give them a little shout out. Congrats, y'all. Show them your thumbs up.
Congrats.
Come off mute. And
Yes, sir.
yeah, and so everyone will be graduating in the next couple of weeks. So we're really proud of you all. And it's just been a pleasure working with everyone, all of you, especially some of you that the ones from Clayton, which it looks like everyone is from Clayton. But it's been a pleasure working with you all. And, I'm going to be there front and center. So make sure y'all look over at me and wave so I won't, look like a lunatic when y'all walk across that stage. But today, our seniors are going to be talking with us today about some of their struggles, some of the things that they've learned, some of the things that they wish they would have done, some of the opportunities they wish they would have taken advantage of. Hey, Hattie. And just some of their wins, some of the things that they're glad they took advantage of. And so it's just going to be a conversation. So please jump in. Please drop your questions, ask your questions, everything you need to do to learn as much as possible. These are your peers. Everyone can't be more than 1, 2, 3, no more than 4 years older than you. So all of you are around the same age group, and there's a lot that you can learn from each of them. So the 3 that we are highlighting on this call today, and there are other seniors who I'm sure have other things that they probably would like to add from time to time, but the 3 that have agreed to sit on this panel today, we have Shadrach Anor from Mundy's Mill High School. You want to wave, Shad? Yeah. We have Sanala Clark, who is also the 2023 salutatorian for Mundy's Mill High. Yes, and we have Miss Hattie, the one and only brilliant, beautiful Miss Hattie over here from Banneker High.
Hey man, I'm feeling some kind of way, man, because you gave Shadrach away.
I sure did. I'm sorry, Shadrach.
Come on, Q. What's up, Shadrach? Man, I got you.
I'm sorry, Shadrach. It was like I got warmed up. You know, the first hour.
I thought it was just me. I didn't want to say
nothing. Handsome, amazing, most smart, intelligent. I think I gave you more adjectives than I gave you more than the others. So yeah. But we are going to get started. We're gonna allow each of you to give a little small background. How long you've been in trio, your trio journey, how long you've been at the school that you're at, just kind of tell a little bit about yourselves, and then we'll just kind of go from there.
And your plans for next year. You can do your plans for next year.
Yes, plans for next year. That is really important.
All of y'all have announced now, right? If you haven't announced, I understand that's a thing for people. So if you've already announced, then you can do your plans for next year too. Not all at once. Shadrach's being a gentleman.
Oh, okay. I'm Shadrach. I joined CTC, I think, in the beginning of 11th grade, so pretty recently. But I think it was really because of COVID, so I couldn't have joined earlier. The information they gave me really propelled me, I guess, kind of got me like fluent in terms of like the college admissions process, and it like got me, I don't know, accustomed to all the terms and everything. So whatever they tell you is actually like really useful. And like it's genuinely like they're not lying or anything. It's all like fact. And if you can't forget anything that they tell you early, because it's gonna come up later in your college admissions process one way or the other. So mhm.
Hi, my name is Sanila. I've been in Trio since my senior year at the beginning. I've been attending Moneysville High School all 4 years. And in the fall, even though I haven't announced it to the public, I'm going to tell you guys, I'll be attending Tennessee State University.
Let's go.
Hey y'all, my name is Hattie Natchy, and I've been in Trio all 4 years. I've been at Banneker all 4 years, and I plan on attending the best school in Georgia, the University of Georgia.
Let's go. Let's go, University of Georgia. Let's go, University of Georgia. Ashton just put in the chat that he was here, but I can't put him on the screen unless he cuts his camera on. So I know we got a couple of other seniors that are on. So if you want to say, you know, your what you're doing, that is more than fine. Ashton, Annie, Marco, but you know, if not, that's also cool. But I can't like put you on the screen unless you got your camera on.
Can y'all see me now, Mr. Ken?
Oh yeah, we got you now, Ashton.
I'm sorry, y'all. I know I probably look rough, but hey, everybody, I'm Ashton. I've been in Trio since 2021, I want to say. And yeah, I will be attending the Alabama State University, and I will be playing football in the fall to major in business management.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
All right.
All right. So again, like Miss Q said, if any of y'all have any specific questions for these seniors, y'all can put them in the chat. I mean, we all family on here today, man. So if you want to just kind of ask your questions out loud, that's also fine.
Yeah, ask anything, any and everything, y'all. Anything.
And look, these seniors have been around us for a while. But even more important than them being around us, right? Because this doesn't necessarily have to be a CTC or a Trio conversation, right? It's really about these are some knowledgeable seniors, right? We got a lot of respect for these seniors that are on this call. They've all done their business and done it, you know, mostly the right way, right? So I'm sure all of these seniors can tell you that they have friends that are just as smart as them, that are just as talented as them, that are dealing with a lot more stress right now because they didn't handle their business on the front end, right? And so a lot of this stuff is not about intelligence. It's just about whether or not you locked into your goal and whether or not you do the work on the front end to kind of make that goal happen. So I think what Shadrach was kind of starting with is important. But you know, any of the rest of you, if you want to, you know, add anything to that or say anything kind of along those lines, but I would love for some of our younger students. I know we got a lot of juniors on. I'll ask a question for the juniors since I see Shania and Asia. So all of y'all seniors, if you could tell yourself one thing at the very beginning of senior year or at the end of junior year, right? We got a couple of juniors on there at the end of junior year. If you could tell yourself anything in May of your junior year that would make your senior year easier, what would that thing be?
Can I say it first, Mr. Ken?
Hey, you cut your mic off. Go for it.
So let me get it quick. Just basically what would I tell myself at the beginning of my senior year, correct?
Yeah.
The biggest thing, not I regret, but the biggest thing I wish I could have told myself is to not procrastinate. Which saying I didn't procrastinate, but looking at my classmates, especially getting on the college admissions process, procrastinating, and just they were procrastinating, and it's like I'm glad I wasn't one of those. And I went ahead and got everything. Not procrastinate to apply. Don't procrastinate to ask about scholarships. Don't procrastinate to talk to your counselors at the school and these counselors. Like you're gonna need them come around January and all that when the college stuff really start rolling around. So do not procrastinate to apply for anything, scholarship, school, jobs, anything, because you'll turn around and be like, dang. I could, because the deadlines for a lot of stuff will hit you and you'll be like, well, I thought the senior year just started. Nah, you gotta Like, and if I could give you the best advice, really go ahead and start looking at least like the top 10 schools that you want to apply for. So as soon as August pretty much hit, like you're pretty much finishing up all your applications, because all my applications were pretty much submitted by October, and I was hearing back from majority of the schools in November, December, January. Like I was already, hearing, and everybody else was like, oh, well, let me apply to this school, let me apply to that school, which is it's not a bad thing, but still just try not to procrastinate and already have your mindset on certain schools or certain career pathways. So yeah, so you won't procrastinate. And that's all I got to say.
That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff.
I'm gonna
Anybody else?
piggyback off of. Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, go ahead, Hattie. Go ahead.
I'm gonna piggyback off of what Ashton said, because the advice that I would give myself, and it's common sense, but don't put all your eggs in one basket. Because I know for me, Georgia wasn't my number one school. I didn't even think, I didn't see me going to Georgia up until, I want to say March, because I got accepted March 17th. And then that's when I was like, okay, cool. And then I started weighing out my options then, because my number one school was UNC in North Carolina. And then that's when I was like, bet, they have my major, they have everything I want to do, I'm going to go there. And then next thing you know it, I got a denial letter. So I was hurt. So make sure you have your options, make sure you have your rebounds, and do whatever you need to do to be successful. And don't procrastinate.
And I'm sorry, can I piggyback right off of her? I'm sorry. Mr.
Ashton
Kennedy, can I
felt this
piggyback off her?
You said what?
Can I piggyback off what she just said, Mr. Kennedy?
Yeah, go
Please.
ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Ash. Ashton felt this question.
I did.
This is Ashton in the spirit.
Also, do not, when say you have, for me, it was always Alabama State, but say I wasn't going to get into Alabama State, you always have to have backups, like at least have schools that you know that you wouldn't mind going to if you can't go to your dream top-notch school, because sometimes the admissions or whatever, the requirements might be super, super high. You might get in, you might not. I've seen the smartest kids get deferred and denied into Georgia. A lot of people's waiting on Georgia and like Clemson and all that, because sometimes they do take a while. But yeah, just always have at least a good top 3 to 5 schools that you know for sure that you would go to. That's it.
Absolutely.
And they're completely right, because I applied to 20 schools. It was kind of overboard, but I got aside from my safety schools, I got rejected from half of them. Like half of the school, I didn't really have like a dream school. I just applied to a lot of schools that I thought I might like to go to, and I got rejected from half of them, and I got into half of them. So I just had choices. So it was after that I could just choose and visit and go to. Oh, I didn't mention. Yeah, so I'm going to Brown in Rhode Island. I'm not. It wasn't an HBCU, sadly. But yeah, they give me a lot of hate for that. But yeah, so you have to apply to a lot of schools, or not a lot, but just have options out there, and you have to take up a lot of options, or a lot of like opportunities that they give you or that you see around, because I don't know, you won't, like, time will pass by and then it won't be available anymore. So like apply to like everything. The whole procrastination thing Ashton mentioned was really completely true. You can't like just wait around, because all those deadlines really pass by. And I don't know, there are a lot of opportunities out there that you have to take advantage of. So.
And then one more thing to add. When you're applying to schools, start thinking of schools your junior year. That way, once you get to your senior year, you'll already have them line up, because when you do, me personally, I prefer early action over regular decision. Because once you do early action, you get it all out the way, you have your documents submitted, and then you'll get a response like end of semester. That way, the second semester, you'll start weighing out your options, and then you'll have everything set and ready.
One thing I have to say, please do your FAFSA. When Ms. Q starts sending out those emails and messages, please complete your FAFSA on time. A lot of people procrastinate. Get your documents ready now, okay? Get it done now, okay? So you're not waiting like some of the other kids I know, like, I still haven't applied because my parents don't have this. No, you have. I'm telling you now. Please get your documents ready for FAFSA. Complete it as soon as possible. And with scholarships, let me pay back off everyone else. Please apply. Apply, apply, apply. You never know what can happen. It's always extra money needed. Even if it goes into your bank account, you have something to fall back on. But if you do not apply, you will not have anything. You do not want to be a struggling college student when it could have been prevented if you would have took the necessary steps to do what you had to do.
You guys mentioned a lot about deadlines. Let me ask you this question. Has CTC at all helped you with keeping deadlines? Is there any kind of relationship between deadlines that CTC give you and deadlines that schools and scholarships and everything? Like how much, you know, or CTC just being a pain in the butt because we just always telling y'all to write essays and have it done by a certain time?
I think yes, because I do try to prepare us in advance, like during the whole summertime, to try to prepare us, like go ahead and have the college essay or whatever. Like the full senior packet is pretty much for you to be on your jump your whole senior year. It's not just something you do to go on the senior trip. It's literally going to keep you up on all of your stuff, like ACT and SAT. If you go, like I took mine my junior year, and like the end of my junior year, which is not a bad thing, whatever, but still go ahead and don't wait to take stuff. And I believe I said something in the chat. I don't know if everybody read it, but I was just saying, know the requirements of the schools that you're applying to. So don't apply to UGA knowing they require test scores, and you haven't even taken any test, or knowing that your test scores aren't just. But sometimes some schools do have a sliding scale, as in like where your GPA could be like a 3.2, and your test scores don't have to be like as high as the requirement. So it just depends. But if you know your school requires test scores and you don't have nobody's test scores, don't apply. But most schools have started waiving test scores, so that's a good thing.
I also told Ms. Q says, yes, it was definitely, CTC did prepare me and with the deadlines and stuff like that. In addition to add what Ashton was talking about, some colleges, for example, that are out of state and are supposed to give you in-state tuition, please understand that they have alumni chapters that give you out scholarships. They have a max number of scholarships that they can give to you. For example, if you're going to TSU and you live in Georgia and you live where I live and you're past the 250-mile radius, the alumni only has 15 scholarships to give out. So for example, if you know you don't meet a certain requirement, like Ashton was just talking about, you need to have a backup plan, because just because you want to go here, it doesn't mean you're going to get that full ride that you're planning on getting or think you're going to get, because there are other people competing with you as well. So there has to be a backup option. And once you know those backup options, please do what you have to do based on your test scores or whatever, and you know that you can get it, please apply.
Listen, I'm already loving this conversation. I'm loving y'all already. Like, I hope our younger students are listening and hearing it, you know, because I'm love y'all are really dropping some stuff that I think, you know, would have helped y'all and will absolutely help them if they take it seriously.
And piggybacking off of what Sanaa said, don't worry if you don't know what you want to do. It's okay. Mm-hmm. If you don't know what school you want to go to, it's fine. You have time. Not a lot of time because it's going to fly, but you have time. If you don't know your major, you have time. And that's one thing I learned from, because I think it was a Motivated Monday where we had college students come back and talk to us. But somebody said your major will change. It definitely will change. I went from being pre-med to psychology, and from psychology, now I'm about to do sports management. So you're going to be all over the place, and it's okay. As long as you have goals set and know how you're going to reach them, that's really all that matters.
I want to just throw in, because y'all said a couple of things here. Listen, students, y'all don't know all of these people's stats like I do, but listen, I want y'all to understand, Hattie is amazing. Shadrach is amazing. Like, these are brilliant people. And you are hearing Hattie say, I did everything right. Hattie has started student organization. She has a great GPA. She's a student athlete. She's done all of these things. And she's saying, yeah, I got that denial letter from my #1 school, right? Shadrach is about to graduate with a 4.3. Like, y'all don't even listen. The man got a 4.3.
You're like, what, number 6 in the class, Shadrach? number 6?
Yeah, I'm 4. I was 4.3 and I'm still 4. So
yeah, this man is graduating with a 4.3, right? Has done dual enrollment, has all of these credits, is a amazing and brilliant scholar, and just told you he got denied to almost half of the schools he applied to, right? And so I really want y'all to hear that and understand that, because one of the things, all of these young people are adults by just about every standard that society has, right? In society, you graduate from high school, you 18 years old, you grown by a lot of people's standards, right? Y'all are still very young adults, but y'all are adults, right? And one thing about adulting is sometimes stuff ain't fair in the way that we think about fairness, right? So some of y'all feel like you're doing everything in your power for all the good and wonderful things in the world to come to you. And sometimes that's just not how the world operates. Sometimes you can handle all of your business and you still don't get to do the thing that you thought you wanted to do. Now, personally, I think they're both going to be great with the choices that they made and with the schools they ended up with. And I can add Sanala in that too, because for a long time, Tennessee State was not Sanala's top choice either, right? And so I know she had another top choice in mind too. Now I firmly believe that all of them ended up where they supposed to end up, and they're gonna be great. But I just want y'all to understand that sometimes just because you want it don't mean it's gonna happen, because all of them was doing the work and it still didn't happen the way they thought it was gonna happen. So if you're not even putting in the effort and the work, then you definitely need to check yourself if you feel like everything just gonna happen because you want it to. Like Ash just said, there's some people out there that ain't doing the work. They ain't even got good GPAs. And if you ask them, they like, yeah, I'm going to UGA. And UGA is like, nah, you're not. You're not though. So I'm just saying, I want all of y'all to kind of understand that you got to put the work in for the stuff that you say you want.
And then sometimes miracles will happen, because with UGA, I wasn't, like I told y'all, UGA wasn't my number one school. And then when I applied, it was one of those schools where you just apply to just say, whatever, I'm just gonna apply. And then my test scores compared to UGA expectations, they don't add up because I'm not a test taker, but my involvement, my grades, my essays, they were like, okay, we want her. And they got me.
No, she's completely right, because well, your dream school or your top choices may change, or you might not have a top choice. But like for me, I think in 9th grade my top school like was UGA, but that I didn't really have any idea what I was like talking about, because that was just what my grandpa wanted me to go. And like as like time progressed, I wanted to go to Emory, and then now I don't know, I got into Emory, but then I applied to like such a plethora of schools that I had the opportunity to like take a moment and like look at all my choices to like examine where I really wanted to go. So you should just apply to, I don't know, as many places as you think you can apply to, no matter like what, I don't know, their statistic maybe, because you never know. So, and then you can choose and then go from there. So
Back off what Shara was saying, all the way until June 13, 2021, Howard was my top school. This is the school that I said I was going to. Their theater program was bomb and everything, until I went on these trips that you all don't like to go sometimes, this college trips with the trio program. We went to Tennessee State University. It was actually raining this day. You know, normally campuses look ugly then, but I just fell in love with the campus. I promise you, I was like, I'm going to Howard. This is where I was supposed to go. Well, I said I was going to go. And then no. And even for the theater program at Howard, after I'd already committed to TSU, they were still going through the process for like our theater applications. I was just like, I really wanted to get into the school, but I'm still stuck on TSU. I got rejected from their theater program, although they accepted me into their film program, but they were only offering me $24,500 of the tuition being paid, and it's $55,000 a year. So then just a blessing, like Hattie was talking about, blessings come in where you don't even know they're going to come in. I got offered a full ride at TSU. At the time I had committed to TSU, I didn't even know if I was going to get a full ride. I know I met the requirements, but then I also didn't know that the alumni chapter was only giving out 15 of the scholarships. And it's also, Mr. Kenny was talking about the last call, it's not what you know, it's who you know sometimes. And that really helped me throughout this process right now. If I didn't know the person I didn't know, I don't think I would have got the full ride to TSU. But God is good. I'm big on faith too. So
And a lot of schools are going to be willing to pay for like all of your schooling, depending on, I don't know, the school and their like the scholarships that they have. You have to research for like the scholarships that the school directly has and apply to those, because you never know. Like they might have a scholarship that'll pay completely for your tuition. Like an example is last year, Tyler, who went to Morehouse is a really expensive school. It's $50,000, but he applied to a Morehouse specific scholarship that Morehouse holds, and he just does community service, and Morehouse pays all of his tuition. And so you just have to research into it. And there are a lot of schools that will like pay based on need-based financial aid. So instead of merit-based financial aid, and that what that means is like your financial aid is based on how much money your family makes. So if they don't make money past a certain threshold, they'll pay for everything. Like there's like a big list of them. Like Brown is one of them. So for me, I'm not paying any like tuition or anything like that. I'm just paying like personal expensive like travel and stuff like that. But like aside from that, it's all paid for. So there's like a lot of schools that will be willing to pay for all of your schooling. You just have to look and search out for those schools.
And then not even look and search out, put your name out there. You can, because one thing I just did, UGA, they have an Office of Institutional Diversity. And what I did was I reached out to the director and I said, hey, I'm Hattie, I'm excited to work with you in the future and blah, 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 blah. Just put yourself out there. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Just take that initiative to make sure that academically and financially you're good.
One thing that y'all kind of touched on, talking or communication, do not be scared to call that school. Don't be scared to call this. Hey, my name is Ashton Flewellen. Cause this how it happened with me. I got an email, just a regular email. Congrats, ASU, this, that, this. I'm like, okay. It would not to be fair. It looked a little fishy because it was just a regular email. It wasn't a letter with my name, address. Cause I got accepted into other schools by then, but I was just like, have I been admitted and stuff? And they were like, yeah, you've been admitted and this, that. But I was still worried. And yeah, but do not be afraid to call the school. Just talk to or ask them. They'll transfer you many different times, but still, just do not be afraid to call, ask any questions, ask for deadlines, ask deadlines about housing, how much your fees, all this and that. And then even with in-state versus out-of-state tuition, you guys should know that not from the jump, because I didn't know until my coach told me that I'll be eligible for in-state tuition. But sometimes you still have to call, hey, my name's Ashton, will I still be getting in-state? And you know what I'm saying? But do not be afraid to call and ask whomever any of your questions at the school, because they literally pay these people to sit on the phone and answer people's questions. So yeah, do not be afraid to call any school or whatever, any school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I called 25 times, y'all, between when I submitted application and now. And I know that sounds outrageous to you all, but the communication with TSU was not very good at all. So I kept calling because then I couldn't even find out about my application. No one was saying anything. So do not be afraid to call. And as well, some information cannot be found on the websites. And we're just going to be completely honest about that. Some stuff that you need to know is not on there. So being willing to call helps you a lot more, because not everyone's going to call. So that puts you at an advantage when certain deadlines come up for the school.
And that students is with everybody, right? I'm sure that's, maybe a little bit better at maybe a little bit better at Brown and UGA, but I mean, you have to imagine, right? With all of these schools, I can say for UGA, right? There are 20,000 people doing applications every year to go to UGA, right? And so you can only imagine if half of those people, if 10,000 people is calling the admissions office, asking about their applications, sometimes phone lines can get backed up. Sometimes you have an admissions counselor, but you leave a message and they take 3 weeks to call you back, because these people are doing a lot of different things. Also, because of FERPA and other things, there's some information that the school is going to be really careful about what they communicate to you over the phone anyway, right? There's some stuff that, even if your application is in process, all they can say to you is your application is in process. They can't, because they don't want to say or give you any inclination that you're accepted, because if something goes wrong later, you gonna say, nah, I talked to Hattie on the phone and she told me everything was good. And they don't want to deal with all them kind of issues either. So a lot of times they're not gonna, give you anything definitive on the phone until, kind of the process works through itself.
And to piggyback off of all of that, it puts you at an advantage just overall, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to advocate for yourself throughout college. It's not a one-time thing and you're done. No, every single year, you guys are probably going to have to call the financial aid office, or when you're on campus, go up there. When I tell you I was in college, y'all, they knew me by face by the time I hit the campus. I'm so-and-so. And
Miss Cleo, if you don't mind me asking, where'd you go?
Oh, they said, where did you go, Miss Cleo?
Oh, the University of West Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So they knew me literally because they were like, oh, you kept calling over the summer. Yes, I had to make sure my funds were good. So you're going to have to advocate yourself, guys, for yourself for the rest of your life. So when you get to college, before you get there, calling, showing up, that always puts you at an advantage. A lot of the time, because the scholarships sometimes could be limited through the universities, they're hoping that you guys don't call and ask. They don't want people to know, like, hey, each program actually has this amount of money and can give out this amount of scholarships to the freshmen we just accepted. They don't want people to know that. So it's great when you call, because then you're on the phone with them and you could ask them those questions and get direct answers right then.
Absolutely. I see that we added another senior who cut a camera on. Janelle, introduce yourself to these people. Just your mic on? No. Gotta connect that audio. We gotta. That's what's up. It's okay, Janala. Whenever you're ready. So all of our younger students are right now being quiet. Nobody's put any questions in the chat yet. I
have a question.
Go ahead, Miss Cleo. Yes, let's get it.
Is anyone thinking about transferring after you do your basics for the 2 years, or did anybody talk to you guys about maybe going to smaller universities first and then transferring to the bigger universities like UGA or Emory or Brown or Alabama?
Can I go? Can I go first? Or
Yeah.
Definitely, because if you guys don't know, I will be playing football, and the transfer portal, as in student athletes that are transferring to other schools, is it's a big thing now. So basically how it works is, say I go to Alabama State this 1 or 2 years or whatever, say I'm not really feeling it, and I know another school would give me a scholarship or anything. I know another school I could fit in. So I would basically let everybody know, hey, I'm transferring. Then you enter the portal, and then other schools start looking at you. And it's the same way, pretty much the same way with non-athletic students. They basically, with non-athletic students, you just go. You don't have to wait and stuff. But with student athletes, you're in the portal, what they call the portal, and you just wait until at least another school picks you up, or another school offers you, as in one that you like. Or so basically, I have not even thought, but I know that it's a possibility that I'll be transferring to another school. So yeah.
And for student athletes, like Ashley said, that is a little bit different. But for student athletes, it's especially good, because there might be D1 schools that might not have recruited Ashton while Ashton was at Griffin High School. But if Ashton goes to Alabama State and has a great year and balls out, you know what I mean? Then he might be able to parlay that into a scholarship to Auburn or somewhere else, right? One of our students from last year, some of y'all might know, was John, and John ended up getting a football. And John would tell you all of this. John's GPA wasn't what it needed to be. He's very talented. His GPA wasn't what it needed to be, so he ended up going to a smaller school, and he had a great freshman season and got his grades in order. And so now he's actually looking to get into the transfer portal and go to a bigger school now where he can play football that he couldn't get accepted to academically, not because he wasn't gifted enough, but just because he wasn't doing his work when he was in high school. And so sometimes, that can actually really help out.
And it also saves you money.
Absolutely.
So let's say, if you go to a local college or a smaller college for your basics, sometimes it'll save you money because you're not spending as much as you would have spent whereas if you're going to Emory for all 4 years rather than transferring in.
And also, yeah, that's actually becoming more of a common thing. I have some friends who they're going to Clayton State and they're just gonna do their general ed. They actually did dual enrollment, so they're not gonna spend that long at Clayton State actually. So they're just gonna go to Clayton State, finish their general requirements and try to transfer to Georgia Tech. So if you feel like for whatever reason, financially or academically, you aren't ready to apply to like really big universities yet, then you can just slow down and then go to somewhere local and then continue your education like on a upline or something like that, incline. So yeah.
Yeah, we did have a question in the chat. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Somebody,
Good.
can I read it?
Go ahead.
Asia 8 said, "Do y'all know what you want your major in, or you want to major in?" And yeah, I'm going to be majoring in business management, and I plan on minoring in forensic biology. And I plan on minoring in forensic biology because I always knew, like, yeah, I wanted to do this and business. So it's like, why not just minor in the forensic and major in business? So yeah, that's how I came up with mine.
Nice. Okay, Hattie already said hers.
I think I'll sorry.
Go ahead, Shadrack. Yeah.
I'll probably end up doing computer science and applied math. It might change. It's gonna be in that realm, computer science, applied math. Because I might want to, I don't know if I want to end up doing something in like software, AI, or like quantitative analysis. It's so I don't know, but it's gonna be somewhere in that realm, and it's okay to go in undecided because some school or most schools anyways, they don't like require you to declare your major until like the end of sophomore year. So you can have time to think about it and then take a few classes there and there, or like do your own research and figure out then.
Absolutely.
I will be majoring in theater with a minor in business management.
Nice. Jediah.
Fran, we can't hear you.
Just type it, girl. Just type it. It's okay. We're gonna get it right. We'll get it right. While she typing, I want to just say something about what Shadrack just said, right? I don't want any of you to feel any, like Shadrack just said a second ago, that maybe you graduate from high school and you don't necessarily feel like you're ready to go to a big institution. I don't want anyone to feel any kind of way about that. And I'm saying that on purpose, right? Because realistically speaking, all of you, everybody on this call is smart enough to go to college, is smart enough to go to college and be super successful. A lot of college is not about academics. A lot of it is just about the transition of life. Like you being on your own, you being independent. How do you deal with time management when there is no one waking you up and asking you about your assignments? A lot of school is that, right? And so for some people, starting out in a smaller environment is not only helpful, but is really necessary. Like for everybody ain't built to leave, Forest Park or Mundy's Mill or Griffin or Banneker and go to a college where it's 300 people in your lecture class. Like everybody ain't built to sit in the classroom with 300 other folks and do well. Right? Some people need to go to a college where my largest class has 35 people in it. And so I Shadrack kind of said, that some of his friends are opting to kind of stay at Clayton State, finish up their associate's degree, and then transfer. I want to make sure I say I don't want anybody to feel any kind of way about that, because unfortunately, a lot of our schools don't necessarily prepare us for that kind of space. Right, it's the space of it, not the actual academic rigor of it, but just being in a room with 400 people to talking to one professor and doing office hours, because that's how you learn. It's a weird space sometimes for people.
And to piggyback off of that, guys, definitely don't feel ashamed, because everybody's journey is their own. But also, absolutely, I always tell my Banneker kids, it's about the skills that transfer over. Like
Absolutely.
Mr. Kenny just said, it's less about like, oh my God, you're so smart, so you were successful in college. No, like the skills that you guys have been learning that this whole time you've been in school, that's literally all it's about. Those skills transfer over to college, and then they transfer over into your career and then into your adult life when you're done. So it's all about just generalizing the skills that you've learned: time management, leadership, organization skills, like advocating for yourself. All of those things have to transfer over like at every single stage.
Absolutely, Ms. Cleo. Absolutely.
And one more thing, y'all, some of y'all kind of touched on it, but basically knowing the environment that you're going to be in, you could be the best student at Griffin High School or the smartest student at Griffin High School, and then get to another school and you're just like, what is this? Because I know a student that was at Griffin High School, very smart, very everything. I'm talking about on top of her game, and got to another school, and it's just like, Lord. But yeah, basically know your environment. I hear a lot of people saying, don't stay in your dorms, go out, go to a few parties, not every single party, because it's a party every single night, every single weekend. So yeah, don't go to
Stay
every
out of
single
trouble.
party.
Especially
Yeah,
at
don't go
Alabama
to-
State and Tennessee
Yes.
State. You know.
And also, last thing, get acquainted with the student resources on campus. No matter how big or small
Absolutely.
your campus is, everybody has a counseling center. Everybody has a writing center, a tutoring center, a career center. Every single school has those resources, like a financial aid office, clinic. Like every single school has those things. So get acquainted with like your campus too.
And a lot of those schools have trio programs as well. So I know the trio program at University of Georgia, but a lot of schools do. So if you go to certain schools, there are trio programs that kind of will still help you and assist you, like even on your journey as you're in those schools. But like Ms. Cleo said, all of them have different types of programs. Alabama State also has the student support services as well. I know Alabama State does and UGA does. I'll check on Tennessee State, but yes, find those kind of resources. They will absolutely help you. Just having people in your corner is always good.
And speaking of having people in your
go ahead.
corner, what'd you say?
No, I said, go ahead.
Oh, speaking of having people in your corner, I'm gonna bring up the whole PWI HBCU debate. So, in my opinion, I do want to go to HBCU, but I feel like you're going to find your people no matter where you go. You could be at a PWI and have, because I know at UGA, we have a Black UGA and Black Student Union. So we all come together and then we have events and stuff like that. Now at a HBCU, it's going to be everywhere. Yeah. But at a PWI, you're going to find your people no matter where you go. And even at a community college, you'll still find your friends because it's going to be smaller classes. So you're not going to be by yourself.
Can I say something since we're on this topic?
Right before you talk, I'm going to say this. Ashton just said that really your experience is going to be what you make it.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to the best HBCU in the world and you stay in your dorm every day, all night, I didn't say it was Alabama State, man.
I did. No,
but
man,
if you go to a HBCU or a PWI, if you stay locked up in your room and don't talk to nobody, then your experience is going to be, I didn't know anybody in college, right? So a lot of that, no matter what institution you go to, if you're going to get out of it what you put into it. So if you actually try to get active on campus, actually try to meet people, then your experience is going to reflect that. I'm sorry, Ashley, go ahead, man.
But no, you're fine. But yeah, basically kind of what Hattie said, literally you're going to find out what's best for you. If you know, you'll know, but when you're applying this stuff, just know what's best for you. Know, okay, do I want to be in the HBCU environment, and do I function well in a HBCU environment? Like, it's different things as in admissions or just the offices, the people that you have to talk to at HBCUs versus PWIs is going to be so different. The everything. So just know where you can function at best before you even start. Like you should pretty much know, and if you don't, you're gonna find out soon. But yeah, just know where you would function at best on the whole PWI versus HBCU thing. So yeah.
And they're completely right. Because every school pretty much, HBCU or PWI. PWIs will pretty much always have like they're what, Black student unions or African student unions. They're all gonna be like together in their own. They might not be in a bubble with like they only hang out with each other, but they're gonna have like a diverse group of friends, and they're gonna have their own student unions to fall back on. Like I had the webinars for Brown last month, and it was the Black student one, or Black students. They all like they have their own thing, I guess. And then a lot of the graduates came to talk, and they joked. They said like I guess Brown had kind of had their own little HBCU within it. Like it's in Rhode Island. I mean, it's like I didn't even know that was a real place, honestly. But yeah, so no matter where you go, like you're gonna find your own people, and you're gonna make what you put into it. So
I also feel like I just want to throw this out there. Ashton's biased because Ashton talks a lot. He's all over TikTok, y'all. Just in case y'all don't know, I don't even know Ashton, and I done seen him everywhere. Okay,
I seen him too.
Let's talk about that.
Ashton, I'm thinking a name for myself. I'm out here.
He is. So if you're
That's
not
branded.
as social as Ashton, it's just, you'll find your place regardless. And I, for example, transitioning from middle school to high school, I was not as social as I am now. But when you get somewhere where you're comfortable in the environment and you realize like, hey, yeah, I do want to make a name for myself. And as well as other people around me are just doing the same thing as you are transitioning, it'll get easier.
Absolutely. Now, a student asked in the chat, Ashton, it's Brandon, Ashton. You're supposed to be Brandon like that. You're doing a good job, Ashton. A student
And
asked
I am.
a student asked in the chat, what made y'all choose the schools that y'all did choose, even if it wasn't your first choice? So even if it wasn't your first choice, or I know for Ashton it was, but what made y'all kind of, choose the schools that you chose? I know Sonala kind of already spoke to it, but the rest of y'all.
But ASU has always been, ever since I had 2 alumni teachers at Carver Road Middle in like 7th and 8th grade, and seeing them. And then I went on a trip there, and every time I go to ASU, y'all, I feel at home. Like the environment is so welcoming to me. And back to Sonali, all I'm saying is like, you're gonna know. You should know whether you want to go to HBCU versus PW. I'm not saying any is better. Hey, but just know what fits best, what's best for you. But ASU, I just knew. And even when it comes to football, I went on 2 different visits. One was unofficial, one was official, and one was just the unofficial was just you go to a game. That was when they played FAMU back in, I believe, November. Oh, and just know, like, ask questions to coaches. They have like things like the SOS team, just a group of girls. They pretty much assist like the athletes, and they like basically like tour guides for all the athletes that come in and tour and stuff. So ask them anything and everything. They've been in many different positions and stuff. So just know you're gonna know, like, do you play? Yes, and I play football, by the way. But like, just, you're gonna feel it. You're literally gonna feel it. Oh yeah, this is my home. Like, this is the school for me. So don't be afraid to go tour different campuses, even with Overground. Do not be scared. Do not be scared to go to any school, to feel the energy and the environment. You're gonna know for sure. And your school is gonna pick you. I feel like your school is gonna pick you. You're not gonna pick it. Your school is gonna pick you. Let me say that. Yeah.
With me for Georgia, I don't know. I just think UGA. Okay, well, let's backtrack. My major is sports management, and y'all know UGA, that's the doghouse. They know for SEC, D1, all of that. And so I felt like UGA, it provides me many opportunities because I wasn't going to Georgia State. I wasn't going to Kennesaw. So I was like, I want to stay in-state and local, but I want to go to a big school where I could do what I did at Banneker there. So I picked Georgia.
Nice.
For me, I guess I kind of made it a point to only apply to schools where I knew I'd be like financially covered, because I guess I knew my parents only had like a set amount of money to like pay towards my schooling. So I actually did Questbridge, and it's a nonprofit that connects you with like schools that'll pretty much pay for all of your schooling, like not beyond like travel expenses and everything, but tuition, room and board, they'll pay for all of that. So that's a really good program for, I guess, first generation students. So you guys should look into that. I know they had their college prep scholars thing already done, but they're gonna have their actual college match in the beginning of your senior year. So you should look into that and see if, I don't know, if you'd want to do it.
Okay, earlier I talked about like TSU being my home, and truly it was my home. And TSU also chose me because as soon as I got on the campus and kept revisiting, the students started coming up to me. So I started networking with everyone and started just making friends, or even through social media, because I'm big on social media. I know I need to stay off it sometimes, but I make myself known on there. So people start coming to you. And then as well, like out of every other college, Dr. Glover actually wanted to meet with me. No college I was going to had their dean meeting with you and wanted to talk to you and see what you like to do, or even the student organizations. Like, it was just very involved me. Even when I'm talking to everyone, everyone's so friendly, and I love being friendly. I love to smile. I like to talk to everyone, and I don't like mean people. So yeah.
Oh yeah, y'all heard what she said. It picked her. Like the people started coming up to her. I'm telling you, the energy is gonna be like, oh yeah, look at them. I'm telling you, you're gonna feel that it's your school. Like you're literally gonna, like you're gonna go home off that tour and be like, yeah, for sure.
Oh, and also, I get with Questbridge, like they have this match thing, and then by December 1st, you'll know like if you get matched. I didn't get matched to the school I wanted to get matched to. I didn't get matched at all. But past that, you can do Questbridge regular decision, and then you can like apply for like a bunch of different Questbridge schools. So initially, I ranked like Emory, what else? Rice, Stanford, and Yale. So I didn't match those schools at all, but later on during the regular decision round, I got into a few of them, like Emory, Rice. But then like I didn't think I could. Like I at that point I wanted to like trying to just give up and like, I don't know, do something else. But like I got encouraged, I guess, to like continue to apply to all those schools, even though like their acceptance rates are completely low. But like you never know what's gonna happen, I guess. So you should just go and apply to any school you want to apply to. Like none of the schools I even like interviewed for like accepted me. So like what like Stanford and Yale, they didn't accept me, but I did a video introduction for Brown and they accepted me. So I don't know, you never know what would happen if you don't apply, so you should just apply anyway. Like I didn't think I would get into like any of these schools because they seem like so like out of reach for me, but I did. So you should just go do what your gut tells you to.
Listen, the worst anybody can say is no. And one thing I know, I speak for myself, but I speak for a lot of other adults on this call when I say this. The worst that any of these schools can say to you is no. And like Shadrach just said, what's even worse than a no is you never knowing. Right. So I would just encourage all of our younger students here, you know, what they say, Mr. James, you miss every shot you don't take. You know what I'm saying? So just put it out there. Do 20, do 30 applications. You need the one, you need one or two. But you know, especially when you're using resources, when you're using stuff like Common App and that kind of stuff, you're doing one application, it's going to 50 schools, man. Just put all the applications in. Like it doesn't because the more, you know, the more you do, the more likely you are to get, you know, get the one back that you need. Go ahead.
Piggybacking on Shadrach, you know, the same thing, just like you just said, Mr. Kenny. Any athlete knows that. Perfect phrase you use. If you don't shoot your shot, you never know if you're gonna win or not. So the biggest thing, not only for schools, but those scholarships too. I know a lot of everybody is intimidated about trying to apply for scholarships. You would never know if you're actually going to get it until you actually apply. We got I think what's the name? We was talking about the other day. This young man spent 2 hours a day. He allotted 2 hours a day just applying for scholarship. How much did he get? $9 million.
Mr. James, I think it was 2 hours a week.
Oh, a week or day? I don't care.
I think so.
That's even better.
But yeah, either way.
Even better. 2 hours a week.
Yeah.
He put away 2 hours a week, which can be, you can break it down in so many ways. It's the same thing Shadrach was saying. You just never know. Do not be afraid to apply for anything, because you never know what the result's going to be.
And then with scholarships, most scholarships, they're gonna ask you the same stuff over and over again. All you gotta do is just make one and then tweak it every time. That's all you gotta do.
Let's go ahead.
That's all I've been saying. That's all I've been saying this whole time.
Two things I had to say. One, I believe somebody kind of mentioned it. It only takes one school, literally one school. You're going to only one school. So, as in, like, when they're saying, "Oh, apply to a lot of them," yeah, apply. But it literally only takes one school. So don't stress yourself out. You're going to one. You can only go to one college in the fall of your graduating. Only one. So don't stress yourself out about Georgia, Clark, Georgia State. Literally only one school. It takes one of them. And somebody asked a question. Let me read it. It says, when applying to colleges that require to write essays, did y'all always change up your essay using the same one? Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to Zariah. All the schools I applied for, no essay required. Nothing. I applied to about 20 to 25 and got pretty much like 18, 19 acceptances. But yeah, I didn't the ones that I had to do, or the ones I did, they didn't require an essay. But that's not with every school. Some they might change it up every other year. You never know. But I know FAMU required one, and I think Georgia State required one as well. But other than that, for the most part, not everybody. But yeah, a lot of students do pretty much use their similar, or if not the same, essays or whatever, as in when they're applying. But I believe, did Georgia have one, Miss Hattie?
Ashton, I just feel like you keep bringing up Georgia, so you're welcome anytime. You can hit that transfer portal right now. I mean, we'll welcome you. You can be a bulldog, red, white, black. I mean, come. But
Hattie getting her first client right now. She's gonna do sports management.
Okay, recruiter. Recruiter. Yeah. But Georgia, did they have an essay? Did y'all require an essay or whatever?
Yeah, they did. I was gonna apply on Common App, but I applied to like 30 schools, and I was gonna apply on Common App, but my Common App was full, so I had to do it through the website. And then it was me and because my counselor, she's an alumni, so she really forced Georgia onto me, and I grew to love for it. And then when I went on there, I had to write an essay, and then that's when I was like, dang, but it was the same stuff anyway, so I just got
and one thing that she said, Common App and Black Common App and all that, if that does it, I feel like that a lot of people, yeah, they push it on us because it's pretty easy, as in the concept of you put your information in, you put your schools in, it applies for you. But if that does not work for you, do not stop there. Go to that school website, find the apply button, and just do it there. It's not hard, I promise y'all. I did it so many times. I was helping others. It's not hard at all. They ask literally the same exact questions every single school application. Have you convicted a felon? Have you been born in Georgia? This, that. And literally everybody asks the same exact questions because they need to know the same exact stuff. Literally. So yeah, just everybody asks the same stuff. So don't be scared to apply.
And if you apply in state, most Georgia schools, you can apply for free. Like, I think it was November. It was apply to college month, and every state in Georgia was free. So take those advantages and those little opportunities.
Yeah, I didn't pay a dime for any college application. Only thing I've been paying was housing fee, stuff like that. But I promise, I swear, I didn't pay a dime for no application fee at all. Most of them range from like 20 to some can be up to 50. So yeah, just know, because if that application goes through, congratulate. We received your application. Don't try to put no money on that account. They received your application. Only put money on that account when they say, hey, we want to accept, or whatever that, when they reach back and say, hey, you need to pay the money. Other than that, do not put no money on that account. Because when they receive your application, let it process. And if you get accepted on that, that's the same. I didn't pay a single dime, y'all. I applied to a lot of schools and didn't pay nothing at all.
Listen,
Two things I want to say.
Oh no, go ahead. Y'all go ahead.
Oh, Miss Q posts in your senior class day, what colleges are free for that month for you to apply. Please pay attention if you want to apply to those colleges. Two, to piggyback on the conversation we're having, also, I feel like one thing people allow them to deter them of their decision is who's going to that college. Understand that that 1 or 2 person does not make up the student population there, and you may only run into them a few times. And so for me, for example, with my whole journey, I didn't know at first that my uncle was an alumni of TSU. And I'm the type of person who doesn't want to follow behind someone else's spotlight or whatever they do. I'm going to create my own regardless of what you did or what all went wrong for you. I'm totally different. So that was the thing for me at first that I had let when I was deciding on TSU. I was like, wait, I don't want to go here if my uncle's been here and he knows everyone. But then I had to understand, and my uncle also sat me down, like, what I did is not going to affect you unless you're doing something crazy. Yes, someone's going to contact me, but at the same time, it's your decision to make your own spotlight or become who you want to be there. So do not let who went before you or who's going with you, even from your classmates. So you may feel like, let's be honest, in high school, there's a lot of drama and people have so-called beef with you. That does not matter. You're going to adulthood now where you have to make decisions for your life and your life only. Do not allow what anyone else is saying to you or what they may try to do to affect what you do for your future.
And it's a question in the chat too, y'all.
And that's going to be the last question we take. Listen, I respect, we do this every week, but I respect all of these seniors' time. I really appreciate them jumping on and kind of giving y'all all of these jewels. I hope y'all really been listening because they really have dropped some knowledge on y'all. Listen, they don't know this yet, but we're gonna call all of them back like in November or December because we do it every year. So they're gonna have to talk about their first semester, and these will definitely be some of the 4 that's on the call. But yeah, there is a question in the chat. So someone said, was it stressful applying to all of those schools, knowing that you might not get accepted? That she put in the question, there's a 50% chance you wouldn't get accepted. But honestly, for some of these schools that they apply to, it's not even a 50% chance you might get accepted. Some of these schools, it might be a 20% acceptance rate. You know, so was it stressful for y'all applying for all of these schools, knowing that there was a good chance that you might not actually get into the school?
I mean, yes, but at a certain point, it becomes like a lottery. Like, it's honestly a question of like, I don't know who even gets in, like actually who does get in, because like, I guess like Brown has like what they said 5% like this year, or and I guess yeah, and they had like 50,000 applications. So at a certain point, it becomes like a lottery. It's like, I don't know, it's not even a matter of like whoever deserves to get in will get in, because they have so many like amazing applicants. They can only accept like a certain number. But so you have to apply to, you know, that many to make sure you end up somewhere.
Can I go? Or yeah, and she gonna eat me again for this, y'all. Hattie, I think for UGA, I think I heard that they only accept a certain amount of people from in-state. Anyway, they get most of their students from out of state and international and stuff, but I don't think we can hear y'all. I mean, I don't think we can hear her.
No, she just saying, come on. That's all she's saying. She's saying,
Hattie, no, I love my,
come on.
but yeah, I feel like I feel like that's something that's a myth, not a myth, but like a I know what I'm trying to say, but so don't feel intimidated by anything or anybody to apply for as many in any school you want to. It's just the fact that some you're gonna hear back from, some you're never not gonna hear back from. So just still apply. That's when you have to know like where you fit in at. If you like us, like if you're not a up here student, you know that UGA requirements is up here, it'll be kind of be a waste of time. And if you know you have what 1.5 GPA and you're applying to UGA or Georgia Tech or something, that's a waste of your time and application fee and all that. So yeah.
For me, because as long as you're realistic with it, you should be fine. Like Ashton said, if you know you got a 1.5, don't apply to no tech and things of that nature, because you know the results. Now, I'm not saying don't try, because you never know. I got into Georgia. I didn't expect it, but I got in. So for me, the biggest school that I applied to that I got in was Howard, because I didn't expect to get into Howard. And then when I got the acceptance letter, I said, oh, wait a minute, but too expensive. So, and it's just, you never know till you try, literally.
I feel like for me, it was stressful because, for example, some schools weren't replying back as fast. There's so many applicants. They're going through every application sometimes because some people are being required, but at the end of the day, they still have to go through it. So it took longer for me. I applied for TSU in October and didn't hear back until January. So I technically got my decision with the people who didn't apply early. And I'm like, I've been waiting. That's why I was calling 25 times earlier. That's what I was speaking about. Okay, y'all. I had to make sure. I was like, come on, what is going on? But yeah.
But I think it goes to show, like, you just have to apply to wherever that you might want to apply to. If you fit, like, if you even remotely fit, like, I don't know, their demographic or their statistics or their average statistics, even like just a bit, you should just apply because you don't know if you'll get in or not. Like, it's really, I don't know, you're just throwing it up in the air because, I don't know, something may happen, you'll get in, then you'll be happy there for the next 4 years. So.
Did that wrap it up, Mr. Ken?
Yeah, man. I was making sure. I know I've been cutting y'all off and stuff. I was trying to make sure I ain't talk too fast again. But I definitely want to say, thank y'all so much for just jumping on this call, man. Like, listen, y'all know what it is. Y'all have been around all of these adults for a long time, so y'all know that sometimes these jewels don't really hit immediately. Sometimes you get this information and it don't really make sense, for a couple of weeks, for a couple of months. You know what I'm saying? So I really just hope our underclassmen really, listened well to the advice that y'all gave. I think y'all gave them some amazing advice. I want to thank y'all so much for being the seniors that were available and jumping on and kind of talking y'all way through this. And like I said, so don't be surprised later because we will be calling all of y'all in the fall. Like, hey, let's talk about this first semester some. Because we know that y'all gonna have, an even different set of advice after then, kind of talking about the transition and going and doing that thing. So I greatly appreciate y'all. Any other staff want to say, anything to our amazing seniors that jumped on the call tonight?
Thank you guys.
Oh. Well, Miss Cleo first and then Mr. James. Go ahead, Miss Cleo.
Yeah, first.
Cleo.
I don't know, something must happen. Well, I'm gonna say y'all are rock stars, man. The jewels y'all dropped is amazing, and they hope everybody understands. She said her phone died. I hope everybody understands that when you go through your years, you learn and you get your wisdom from those who's been there before, and they're sitting in the shoes you're going to be in later on. So take these words, don't take them lightly. Don't take them lightly. And all they're giving you their email addresses and everything else to shoot out and reach out to them, just to ask them more questions. That's when you got great leadership. So you all are great leaders, and I appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
we appreciate you too, Ms. James. And one more thing, the biggest takeaway, y'all, please, is do not procrastinate. Don't wait to put them applications. Y'all don't wait. That's the biggest thing you should take away from this call. Do not procrastinate at all.
Ashton was the #1 to make sure he got his stuff done, and he everything was perfect for him. He had the smoothest process you could ever think of.
Y'all, I wasn't stressed out at all. No, my senior year, I wasn't. Just y'all, please apply. Go ahead and apply by October, November. So your second semester can be smooth. You shouldn't still be applying your second semester. That's when you feeling out. You know what I'm saying? Or either accepting your admission. That's another thing people don't know. When you get this admission to the school, you have to accept it. You have to, hey, commit or whatever, verbally and fully commit. Hey, I'm going to this school. It should be on whatever, what's it called? Acceptance letter that you get. It should be, hey, accept the decision down here.
We got you, man. We got you. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, if nobody else has anything, man, that will end our call for this evening. Man, like I said, man, just thank y'all so much, seniors, man. That y'all were great. Oh, I see Miss Leggy and Miss Q. Did y'all want to say something? I see y'all cut your cameras on and stuff. Did y'all want to say anything?
I have one thing to say for Clayton. Sign in, please. But thank you all to you that came out. You all had a lot of wonderful things to say. And I'm so proud of each and every one of you. Can't wait for your big day as you walk across that stage. And I'm excited to see your future. So just don't forget me when you go off to, to your wonderful destinations. Hit me up so that, we can know how you're doing and if everything is as you thought it would be, better or worse. But yeah, so that's all I have to say. And for the younger ones, I hope you paid attention because they really dropped a lot of great wisdom for you all. We chose the right people. Well, let me go on and give him his props. Mr. Kenny chose the right people to be on this call.
One more thing, this the last thing. If any juniors or sophomores or freshmen on this call didn't feel comfortable with asking a question on here or it's adults around, I put my Instagram, Sonala put her Instagram, Shadrack put her Instagram, put his Instagram. So just hit us up.
And like they said, y'all can always find Ashton everywhere. Instagram.
Yeah, everywhere.
So you can find all of them on social media.
You're gonna be at Georgia too.
I'm not hard to find, y'all. Y'all might have
be
seen me on your For You page, so I'm not hard to find at all.
He pop up every day.
Lord Jesus, y'all had to put business out there like that. Yeah.
That's what's up. All right, y'all. Well, Miss Leggett, would you gonna say something?
Miss Q. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say ditto to what everybody else said because Q said it all. Everybody said it all. But we are so proud of each and every one of you all, and just wish you much, much success. And just can't wait to hear about it. So have a great one, and thank you all for coming on the call.
Miss Q, ASU plays Miles on September 9th. So I definitely won't be forgetting about you when you said, don't forget about you that.
Yes, when you said ASU, I started to tell you that right then, but my hands were a little full. But yes, we play y'all every year for classic, not classic, Labor Day Classic. Yeah, Labor Day Classic. So I will be seeing you, Ashton.
He already got the schedule memorized. That man said, I'm coming for you. Okay.
Yep.
Can't wait, Ashton. I can't wait.
Yes, ma'am.
So, all right, y'all. I'm about to end this thing up.
Bye.